Welcome to Pirkei Avos with Rabeinu Yonah. We are on chapter 4, Mishnah 3. The Mishnah says, Hu Hayomer used to say, Al tehevaz l'chol adam, do not be disdainful of any person, or don't denigrate any person. Va'al tehei maflig l'chol davar, don't be disdainful of anything. She'en l'cha adam, she'en lo shah. Every person has his moment. Ve'en l'cha davar, she'en lo makom. And everything has its place. Says Rabeinu Yonah, Hu Hayomer, he used to say, Al tehevaz l'chol adam, va'al tehei maflig l'chol davar. Shelo tivza shum adam, you should not denigrate anybody. Afilu l'nikla, even to somebody who's not so important. People have a habit of being nice to people that are what they consider important, rich people, famous people. But if someone who is maybe a little bit of a nebach, people aren't so nice to him. Don't do that. You have to be nice to everybody. You have to give honor to everybody. And you shouldn't be disdainful. Say, don't say, oh, who cares? He's a nobody. I can be mean to him. No, eventually every person has a moment where you'll need them one day. You'll need that person, right? There's obviously, besides the spiritual reasons, that it's a horrible, horrible thing to denigrate people that are maybe not as important or not so important, and they're maybe nikla, as Rabeinu Yonah says, they're a little bit of a nabach. You have to be careful, because eventually maybe you'll need that person or you'll need that thing. Okay, that was Mishnah 3. That was a shorter Rabeinu Yonah there. Let's go on to Mishnah 4. We'll start Mishnah 4. We're not going to finish the whole thing. Rabbi Levitas ish Yavna Omer. Rabbi Levitas, a man of Yavna, said, Ma'od ma'od havishval ruach. Be very, very humble. He has two veries there. Very, very humble. Shetikvas enosh rima. For the hope of man is worms. Meaning eventually we are all going to die and we're going to be worm food. So there's no point of being haughty, thinking you're so important, thinking that I'm God's gift to humanity, because we all end up in the same place. We all end up in the earth getting eaten by worms. Now, again, as always, this doesn't mean that a person shouldn't recognize his positive character traits and feel good about himself. A person definitely should recognize what he's good at and his positive character traits, but rather what this is saying is that a person shouldn't think that, oh, since I have these great character traits, it's people should praise me and people should give me things and people should treat me that as I'm important. When a person feels that he deserves special recognition and to be special and better than everybody else, that's gaiva. That's the prohibition of haughtiness. But on the contrary, a person should recognize that, wow, I have these positive character traits. That's a very important thing, and I can do great things with them. But I should not feel that I should be praised because of that, especially because of that. Okay, Rabeinu Yonah says, "Shelo yizgai ha'adam kol ikar." A person should have no arrogance, no gaiva at all. Olasof harima shavi yosem mimenu. Because death is the great equalizer. Valzeh Amar, it says, Ma'od ma'od havishval ruach, be very, very humble. Lahafli b'davar v'laymer, kama ansho shel gasas ruach. The Mishnah here uses extreme language of being havi ma'od ma'od, to be very, very humble, to tell us the serious punishment of being arrogant. V'hu hamizgaya. For Rabeinu Moshe now, he's going to read something from the Rambam. Zichron levracha perish. Shebal hadina she'afal pisha kava emtzai b'chol midos hu meshubach k'mo midos adina divos ki'apiz arakilos shneim rayin v'emtzai she'ina divos taiva. He says, usually the Rambam has a principle. The Rambam's principle is that when it comes to character traits, a person should not veer too far either in one direction, but he should always be in the middle. For example, when it comes to the trait of giving, a person should not give to anybody, so that he's a stingy person and he's a miser. He doesn't give charity. Definitely shouldn't be like that. But on the other hand, you shouldn't go the other way. You shouldn't be a person who just throws away his money and doesn't think of what he's doing. Rather, you should be a person who's careful with his money, but he's very generous. Very generous person. You should be in the middle. Also when it comes to anger or being tough. You shouldn't be too tough, but you also shouldn't be too merciful. How so? Now we know why a person shouldn't be too tough and cruel. But why shouldn't he be too merciful? Why? Because a person should not be merciful to wicked people. Right? Sometimes you find when somebody does a horrible thing, people go, "Oh, we shouldn't judge him," or someone will say horrible, horrible things about righteous people, and then other people say, "How could this fellow say such horrible things about righteous people?" And then all of a sudden, people will jump him and say, "Oh, that's lashon hara, that's lashon hara. You shouldn't judge him like that." Sorry, I have my window open; it's a little windy, but that's misplaced mercy. So the Rambam says misplaced mercy is incorrect. We're not supposed to be. If someone's saying bad things about a righteous person, about a Torah scholar, we should not have mercy on him. The Rambam says clear right here. We do not have mercy on wicked people. Right? Imagine there's a murderer going around killing people, and he's a dangerous person, and he goes into trial, and he's found guilty. But the judge says, "Oh, I have such mercy on the guy. I just really feel bad that he should spend the rest of his life in jail." So you let the guy out of jail, and then he goes and kills 10 more people. Was that true mercy? No, he caused the murder of 10 people. So obviously, it's not just with murder; it's with anything. People, we have to have a balanced approach. We shouldn't be cruel to other people. So the appropriate path is to be merciful on the people that you need to be merciful to, and cruel to the people you need to be cruel to, like evil people. And in every character trait, you should go in the middle way. However, there's one exception. When should we not be in the middle? When it comes to arrogance. When you have to go as far away from arrogance as possible, and you have to be as humble as possible. There's no worse character trait than arrogance and haughtiness. Most of this, imagine, listen to what he's saying here. Most of the sins in the Torah are caused by haughtiness. Furthermore, somebody who is haughty forgets about God. As it says, what's going to happen? Your heart will become high, and you will forget the Lord. This is what we say here. Be very, very humble. Now, in fact, what he's saying here about going the opposite extreme for humility, he says that's actually a debate in the Talmud. Chadam, or one rabbi of the Talmud, says, B'shamta de izbe, b'shamta de lesbe. Klaimar, what that means is, that someone who is haughty should be excommunicated, and somebody who is too humble should be excommunicated. What does that mean? A person should not be super duper humble. That people should walk all over him. So this opinion of the Talmud says that a person should be in the middle approach. We're going to see how we paskin at the end. He should be in the middle. And this says b'shamta, he gets excommunicated. This big as the ruach arbe. He has a lot of haughtiness. Ubeshamta de lesbe klal. Ubeshamta de lesbe klal. Someone who doesn't have any haughtiness, he's not like a person. He lets people walk all over him. He's like an animal. Now that was one opinion of the Talmud. That opinion of the Talmud said you have to have the middle approach. The second approach is Beshamta de isbe klal. That anybody who has any haughtiness should be put into excommunication. That's how bad haughtiness is, that you have to run away from it as far as possible. You have to run away as far as possible from haughtiness, and you can't have any at all. Kedas Rabeinu Levitas, like Rabeinu Levitas says in our Mishnah, for the reason that we said, and this is the halacha. So the Rabeinu Yonah paskins like this, the Rambam paskins like this, that every character trait that exists, we should be in the middle, except for haughtiness, except for gaiva. When it comes to being humble, too much humility is never enough. Too much humility. While we recognize our own strengths, we have to look positively at others and recognize their strengths. And we shouldn't think that, because I have these strengths, I deserve special praise, I deserve special attention. Rather, we should look at our life. We shouldn't be running after honor and kavod. That destroys a person's life. It's motziin sa'adam min ha'olam, the Mishnah says. But rather, we have to try our best to focus. What are we here for? We're here to serve Hashem. If we're here to serve Hashem, Hashem is the main thing. I'm not a competitor. I shouldn't be praised. Hashem should be praised. If a person wants to be praised, he's, God forbid, competing with Hashem, so to say. No, Hashem is the one who is praised. And I am just here to serve Hashem. That should be our attitude, because when we get haughty, we think, I'm important. My comfort's more important right now. I don't feel like doing mitzvah X or mitzvah Y or whatever it is. So rather, try our best and try to be as humble as possible. So we'll finish there. We're in the middle of the Mishnah. And next time we will continue with this Mishnah. Have a great day. Bye.